Welcome to Rising Up with Jeryl Anne. I'm your host, Jeryl Anne, and we have another exciting show for you today. Really information filled, and you just don't want to miss it. We don't want any of our friends and groups to miss it either. So if you would please take a moment right now to join me in sharing this out. I'm going to share it out on my page and let's get everybody we can on, and let's get everybody rocking because this is information you do not want to miss. I am so excited to have my dear sweet friend with me, Teri Angel. Teri is with Transformation Talk with Teri. Welcome, Teri.
Thank you, Jeryl Anne. It's so great to be here with you again. I just love this show, this format that you're doing. It's beautiful, and you bring the most wonderful topics to us. So I'm honored to be a guest with you today.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you because, we all know you as the Gratitude Happy Hour, Teri. That's in fact how I got to know you, was watching you on Gratitude Happy Hour. So, our that show had such an impact on my life and on how to be grateful in every moment of every day. And so when you switched over to Transformation Talk with Teri and you have a new half hour format, it was like, oh, wow, this is going to be very cool. So let's start there. What made you decide to go from being Gratitude Happy Hour Teri to Transformation Talk Teri?
Well, that's a great question, Jeryl Anne. Thank you for asking it. Gratitude Happy Hour came out of a place where I felt like there was a lack. I had been involved with a show that was done by Bob Miller. He was on talking about practicing gratitude and how we can all have more gratitude in our life. And I just loved the message that he put out. Well, Bob passed away a couple of years ago, and there was an empty space. And I just felt that space. It was yelling at me so loudly. And so I decided, and Spirit urged me to create the show Gratitude Happy Hour. It didn't start out being an hour, but it evolved into that. And I started it on my own, just me talking and sharing my gratitude and my gratitude base thing that I do. And then it grew to a point where it was more of a talk show. It'd have people on, it'd have guests and all of that. And that was great. And that went on for over a year. I was on every day. For a while, I was on 7 days a week. And then it was like, that was insanity. So I cut it back. And so then about probably a month ago, I kept hearing that people needed to learn about transformation. And so I knew I couldn't do two shows a day. That would just like, okay, stick a knife in me, I'm done. So I really listened to my inner voice, and I said, all right, Spirit, what do you want me to do here? And so it was kind of just a transformation of the show that happened, because a lot of people were wanting to know how to do a transformation. I had gone through, as you know, since March of this year, I had gone through this time of real transition, not just physically, but that was what people were seeing, was the physical part of the transition and the transformation. So Spirit goes, they need to know what you did. They need to know how to change everything, not just the physical, but the spiritual, the mental, the emotional. All of it has to come together to make a real transformation. So I was urged to start the new show, the new format. I do it on my own. Every once in a while, I know I will have people on. I will have you on to talk about, the nutrition that our bodies need. But for right now, it's like, what do people need to learn? What do I still need to learn and hear every day about transforming and the energy of it? So that's how it came to be. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it.
I love that, because And that is Monday through Friday, folks, at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook. You can just go to Teri Angel's page and you'll be able to see that show. I tell you, it has been getting such a tremendous response. Everybody really is just loving it because your show is practical. You give very practical, direct advice, and you give what you call gizmos every day, to help people out. But I would like to, I don't normally do this, I don't, but I want to take just a moment real quick in our show today before we get into your gizmos and that to say happy birthday to our dear friend, John Fiore. It's tomorrow. And so he might be popping out. And I just want to say happy birthday to John real quick before he leaves.
Oh, happy birthday, John. You're having a birthday.
And of course, we have all kinds of people on here with us, and that's really awesome. Welcome to everybody that's here with us. We're so happy that you could join us. And do stick around today, because later on in the show, Teri is going to do a process, a one breathing process. And so you don't want to miss that. That's another one of her gizmos. So let's go back to your gizmos and what you're doing with your show and what you're covering in that show.
Absolutely. So, Jeryl Anne, I realized two things with transformation. One is, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to make changes and to be that ideal you that you want to be? And the second thing is, what are you willing to do? How much are you willing to commit to doing to make that transformation? So I realized then that every day there could be something that's given that we all, I include myself in this because this is about all of us, not me teaching, not me just sharing, but all of us together. What can we do? One little thing that we can do to start seeing a change come about. So I really didn't resonate with the word tool anymore. It's like, no, I don't want to give out a tool. I'm not a builder. I'm not a carpenter. This is about warmth and, coming to that happy place inside. And what makes me happy is my little kitty cat Gizmo. He's just a doll, and he makes me laugh so much. So as I was looking up a synonym for the word tool to see, okay, what can I give out every day? Gizmo, that word gizmo just jumped off the page at me. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can give a gizmo every day. We can all collect a basket full of them. So we have all these little gizmos running around that we can just pick up and say, oh yeah, I remember you. I remember when Teri said, look at this and see how this makes you feel, or pick one of these gizmos and work with it for a while. So that's how the gizmos came about. And of course, Gizmo has to contribute, like every day when I'm on.
Yes.
He has to lend his voice and his energy to it. And that just makes it more real, because he's so intuitive. He really is connected.
So, and yes, I can attest because I follow Teri's show every day, and you'll hear this real big meow, and Gizmo knows how to use his voice.
Yes, he does.
And you have been teaching us how to use our authentic voice. And so Gizmo has been showing us very, very demonstratively how to use our authentic voice, which is one of the many topics that you cover. You've done this now for what? You're going into your third week or fourth week?
This will be the third week.
Yeah. What are some of the topics that you've been covering and some of the tips you might be able to give people? Because we have people like Nancy Smith is on here with us today, and she says, I need to transform. And I think we're all kind of in that boat. We're all looking for transformation and healing and growth. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
We've done things like working on communication. Huge. That's huge in transforming, because, and if you'll stick around, you will see that this process I'm going to do with you today is one that will help you connect with your oneness of who you are. So we're using communication to do that, to find out who we really are, what we're really all about. Listening, that is huge in communication. We've talked about patience. We've talked about anger and what to do when that anger comes up and how to look at it in a healthy way. Instead of just giving into it, we want to acknowledge our emotions, but we want to also say, okay, what can I do about this? What's a gizmo I can use with my anger? We've talked about being connected with others, and we're going to really go into that tomorrow. That's the topic of tomorrow's transformation talk, is oneness and how to connect with that. And there's other topics throughout this week, like silence, how to use silence. So every day is something different, and you might hear some of the same things as you progress each day, but it all has a topic, and we all discover what is going on in our life that we can relate that to, relate that topic to. And, Jeryl Anne, I can only come from my experience as I'm sharing in this show. We can quote people, we can pull from, like Dr. Wayne Dyer, we can quote Mother Teresa, we can quote Oprah, okay, we can quote Jesus. But until we can tell our story and say, this is from me, this is from my heart, this is what I've experienced, then that's when we're authentic. That's when we have something to truly share out with others. The quotes from our mentors, from those that we follow, that's wonderful. That's great. That opens up a whole world of discussion and thought. But when people see what's happened in your life and see how you transform, the evidence of it,
Right.
That's real.
Right.
That's real, and that's raw. And that's what this show is all about. It's just me being real and opening up and saying, look, guys, this is what I do, and all I can do is share with you my experience and my love and the way that my life has just totally transformed.
Well, there's, one of the things, and you hear this in the spiritual community, are people walking their talk. And there's kind of a double-edged sword at times, because you're a person that I know walks her talk, and I would like to think that I walk my talk. However, I will talk out of the other side of my mouth for just a second. We're moving from a 3D to a 5D reality, and consequently, there are going to be days when we're very 3D, when we're not walking our talk, because we have to move through the very real 3D memory experience, whatever it is, to get back to walking our talk. And so there's a balance. So, sometimes I think as teachers and leaders, in a certain sense, I mean, we're all equal, don't get me wrong, but you have agreed to put yourself out there to help people, take them by the hand and help them on their path. I do the same thing in my own way. And consequently, sometimes what happens is we put people up on pedestals, and we think that because they're this spiritual person, because they're doing a transformation talk or rising up or whatever, that we have it completely together or whatever. But beauty of it is that we have to have compassion for each other. And also, you're very willing to be vulnerable to show people that, this is how I've needed to transform. And yes, I know the spiritual principles, but this is how I actually applied it. And and you too, even if you fall off the spiritual wagon, if you will, or whatever, and you're not always quite there. So you need to be authentic, like you're saying, and that, but the proof is in the pudding in, yeah, we all may fall off that wagon occasionally and sidestep, but the proof is in the results, and you're getting results, big results. And I really respect you immensely for that, because you're willing to own your stuff, no matter what it is, the good stuff and the not the kind of icky kind of feeling stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, it does. Absolutely. Karen Palmer said, and hi, Karen, she
Yeah.
says, we teach what we also need to learn. So that's very true. On
Yes.
the show, I always tell people, this is my experience. I'm talking from what I'm actually going through. So take
Mhm.
what you resonate with, take what you're ready to open up to, and then leave the
Yes.
rest. Maybe at a later time it'll click and you'll say, oh, now I get it. But
Yeah.
as long as we are being real, as long as we're only sharing what we have to share, I can't share with you how to be a millionaire because I'm not a millionaire. I can
Yeah.
share with you how I can transform my sadness because I'm not sad. I'm a very happy person. Now, I have been sad, so I know what that feels like. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? So I can
Yes.
only talk about what is mine to talk about. I
Hmm.
can't give you gizmos to go build a high rise because I don't know how. I can
Right.
only give you what's real and what I see has transformed my life and how I am walking my talk,
Right.
because I'm going to come on there and I'm going to share what's real in my life. I'm not going to come on
Yes.
there and as some people say, blow smoke up your ass because that's not
Yeah.
me. That's not
Yeah.
me. I try to keep my life as authentic as I possibly can, as open and transparent as I possibly can. And that's what's happening in these times right now, Jeryl Ann. Everything is transparent. If I came on there and told you something, off the wall, you would recognize it in a heartbeat because you would
Absolutely.
see that I'm not being authentic. So that's my goal with the show. That's my goal in my life is to be transparent and to be that person that other people can say, okay, I want to do that too. I want to change. I want to live my life the way that, I can be happy with me. That's what it comes down to. I want to be happy with me. I don't have to have approval from anybody else, only from me.
Right. And I love the fact that I know I have been in a somewhat similar situation, because before I got sober and clean, that journey started 3.5 years ago. I mean, people were actually taking bets on how long it was that I was going to be on this planet, because
Mhm.
you saw pictures of me. I really did look like I was going to die in any moment, and I actually thought I was going to. So, um, when I stepped back on my spiritual path and started following those transformational principles, much like you're teaching, um, it, it people saw a change in me. They saw it wasn't something I was telling them; it was something that they were seeing, and that's exactly what I see in you. I have to tell you, I have gone back, because we've known each other since last year before the hurricane. And I was looking at some of the old pictures of you and different pictures that you have on your site, because I go through and I pull out pictures for my promos and that, and the change in you. But it's not just the weight. You have made you have spent all of these years and years and years, decades, literally transforming emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And you've had a very rough time physically in your life with the kidney transplants and the different cancers and so forth. But uh, you're you're glowing in a way that I've not seen you glow, and that's the proof is in the pudding. That's where the tangible proof is that what you're doing is working for you. And that's what is so valuable about your show, because you're sharing those very things that is working for you. And I'm in awe at times I watched you make that food transition and that nutritional transition. I was right here with you. You did it right here in this room, or one of these rooms, and it was part of it. And you've stuck to it. You've made a commitment to yourself. And this is a point I really I want to bring up that's so important. You made a commitment to yourself. And once you make a commitment to yourself, you haven't turned back on it. You have maintained that self-love, self-care commitment to you. And that I must say I am so proud of you for what you're doing, but I also respect you so immensely, and you inspire me to do that for myself, to continue to do that in any way, shape, or form that I can.
Thank you. Thank you for those words. And, when I started the show, the Transformation Talk show, I think it was the second day, I asked, are you all ready? Are you ready to make this commitment? And don't commit to me, commit to you. And every day, that's what it is. It's not that you're going to come on the show with me and you're going to just type words in. You're going to commit to yourself that this is something I want in my life. This is something I want for me, because that's where it has to come from. If I had made the food changes and, done the things that you told me to do, if I had done that for you, I wouldn't be sitting here right now like I am, because eventually I would have said, she's not going to know. I'll have that candy bar. I'll have that jar of ice cream. I'll eat the whole, all the things that I'm not supposed to eat. I'll eat all of it, and she'll never know, because I wouldn't have been committed to myself. Right. So that's where the difference is with transformation. We can't do it for anybody else, and nobody else can do it for us. Absolutely. You like that? That just came through. Okay.
I like that.
We can't do it for anybody else, and nobody else can do it for us.
Absolutely.
That's what transformation is all about.
And what we can do is just support each other and hold that space for each other. And that's what you're doing in your show. And also I see, Karen, I think Karen is still here with us. I don't know for sure. I think she is. But Karen also is one who holds that space, Karen Palmer, for people. Yes. And you two have a private group also that you have that helps people do this very thing and transform as well. So, yeah. And Margaret Ellen says you'd be lying to yourself. And Margaret, you're absolutely right, because all we can do is support each other, love each other, and give each other the advice when we're asked. Now, in your case, I just had this very strong, it came to me that I was to offer you to come here. And I'm not a nutritionist, folks. I'm not any of those things. But I had done this in my own life, and I had to get off my sugar addiction and change how I ate and how I and what I was putting in my body. And so all I did was just show Teri, if she wanted to, what I had done. And she was in a place where she was ready to do that. So I just shared with her what worked for me. I couldn't, I'm not a nutritionist, so like you, I couldn't share with you what I didn't know. So that's what we ended up doing. And then I love this. She took it and ran. I mean, she is now giving me recipes. And I love that. Love it. It is really a mutual support now that she's learned how to eat a certain way, she's coming back and helping out. And Margaret Ellen says we're both glowing. Thank you, Margaret.
Oh, thank you, Margaret Ellen.
Yeah, thank you, sweetheart. So it's and your sister Billy is on.
Hi, Billy. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see your name.
Okay.
I love you.
And Karen is still here with us. Karen, we were just
Yay.
talking about you. I don't know if you had gone out or not, but yeah, it's just, that's what I love about your show. That's what I love about what you do. And you have inspired me and countless others, all these people that are on here, and it's amazing. So I do want you to talk for just a moment, if you would, about an event that you've got coming up at the end of August that is
Yes.
for transformation, and the amazing Karen Palmer will be there as well.
Yes, I can't wait. And you get to meet Karen for the first time.
I know, I'm so excited. I get to hug her in person. Yes.
So on August 25th in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, there will be a day with Earth Angels. And we are starting out with a beautiful meditation on the beach at Fort Lauderdale Beach. And then we're walking inside and we'll have presentations, including one from Jeryl Anne on soul centering. We'll have one from Karen on working with your angelic presence in your life. And we'll have conscious communication. We'll have numerology. We will have someone teaching about essential oils and the chakras. I'm excited about that one. Can you tell?
Yeah, I want that.
I love working with essential oils. And we'll have vendors there. Vendors that will be people that have products, as well as people that have services that you can sign up for. So we invite you to come out for a whole day, just get to know other people, network, bring your business cards, put your name out there with all these other people that are like-minded, people that want to get together with others and talk about transformation, talk about angels, talk about how we can really support each other in this day and time when there's so much change in the world. So I'm thrilled and I'm really looking forward to it, Jeryl Anne. It's going to be an amazing day. And thank you, Karen, for that reminder that we will be live streaming it. So that opportunity is available. If you go to the link that Karen shared, which is the website, angelspeakers.com, there's a page called Angel Speakers Live, and you can either click to sign up for the day and buy your tickets there, or you can sign up for the live streaming event and be able to watch us as we go through this whole day with the Earth Angels. So I encourage everybody to participate in any way you can, whether it's live with us or virtually over the air with us.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be doing each speaker individually on a separate page you'll go to on Facebook once you register, and you'll be able to see each speaker as they present. And I'll be behind the camera, so I'll wave to me when I'm. You won't see me though. So anyway, so we have the Angel Speakers live event coming up, and you have your show. How about we take some time now? Would you like to do that beautiful meditation that you have for us? And then we're going to have people let us know how it affected them, first of all. But also, if you have any questions for Teri about your own transformation that you might be going through, we'd certainly love to hear from you. And Linda Lemieux says, I want it all. I'll be there. And it would, and would love to have the tapes later to review. So yeah, you can register for both. I'm sure,
absolutely.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do this process, because I would like to hear from you afterward, how you felt and what are some of the things that went through your mind as we do it. And also just take a moment before we actually go into it to just share it one more time. Share it on your timelines or in a group and Just let other people know, or send a private message real quick and let other people know to jump on here, that we're doing something really special right now. And then after you take that moment to do that, come back with me. And we're going to start to breathe. And when I say breathe, I don't mean to just like give lip service to it. I mean to really breathe in a breath into your heart space, into your heart center. Fill up your lungs and let that breath go all the way in and then hold it. So we're going to go ahead and start doing that now. Just take that deep breath into your lungs. Hold on to it. And then release it. And now, if you can close your eyes safely, close your eyes and breathe that breath in and listen. Breathe it out and listen. Keep doing this, breathing and listening. Breathe deeply in, breathe deeply out, and after each breath, listen to what the breath is saying to you, what the message is that's coming to you. I am you, and you are me. Breathe. Listen. Breathe. Listen. I want to take you back as you're breathing and listening. Let's go back to when you were in your mother's womb. You didn't have to think. You didn't have to worry. You didn't have to question. You just were. Everything was developing. You were just allowing everything to happen as you were just there. Go into that moment now. Breathe and listen. Breathe and listen. I am you, and you are me. Now I want you to take you into the cosmic womb, that womb where we all were created, all together. Feel into that oneness of being with others and not having to think, not having to judge, not having to worry. Listen for the breath of the Creator as you are in that womb. Listen for the heartbeat of the Creator. Just breathe and listen. Breathe and listen. If you are breathing right now, you've been given another moment in your human time. Breathe in and listen. What is the most important thing to you at this moment? Breathe and listen. I am you, and you are me. And what is most important to you affects all of us, because you create with your thoughts. Breathe and listen. Breathe and listen. I am you, and you are me. Breathe and listen. Now raise your arm. Breathe and listen. Which arm did you raise? I didn't tell you which arm, did I? You just did it without judging, without thinking. Breathe and listen. The more you listen, the more you will know who you are without outside influences telling you which arm to raise, which thoughts to think, what judgments to make. Breathe and listen. I am you and you are me. Breathe, listen, and just be. And now start coming back to listening to this show again, listening to the words, and just being in the moment with us right here, right now. And I would love to hear from you now. I would love to hear what your experience was with this breathing exercise and listening to your heart, listening to the real you without anybody else telling you what to listen for, but just listening. So, Jeryl Anne, how was that experience for you?
It reminded me so much of the Ad Heart experience, and just kind of going into my heart and my soul, and it just felt very warm, very loving, very inviting, and I got a few messages of you are loved. And I just kept getting, you are loved. We love you. And it just felt very, very, very wonderful. I feel very mellow right now. I kind of feel like I could, just kind of go. But let me put up Margaret Ellen's. She said, wow. She lifted her left arm, heard love, care, happiness, trust. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I kept getting the love message. Yeah. Right. And Nancy Smith, she says, for me, it was peace comes from in me. You are free.
You are free. Yes.
Isn't that
Yes.
beautiful?
That's the freedom that happens when we go back into what we are meant to be, what we were created to be. Before the world told us what to be, we were spirit and we are spirit. So going back and remembering that and knowing that we don't have to control anything. We don't have to control how our body grows when we're in the womb. We don't have to control that our heart is beating or we have to breathe in to fill our lungs. Everything just happens when we're just sitting in the now and just being.
Karen Palmer says, I feel there are no boundaries, all connected in one.
Yes, that's the oneness.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah.
When
we go back to that cosmic womb, where we were created, there's no separation. There's nobody saying, I'm going to be this and you're going to be that. And, why don't you do it my way? There is only one way, and that's us. I am you and you are me. We are the same. We are exactly the same.
Right, right. There are a few more people that have just joined us, Molly and Lorraine. If you are just now joining us, please go back on the replay and watch this. Teri just did an absolutely beautiful oneness meditation for all of us to enjoy. And you notice I have a little lightning. Are you hearing that in the background? I hope it's not disruptive.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, we're having a bit of a storm outside my window right now. So, but thank you for those comments. Are there any other comments? Lorraine says she's connecting more and more with God and her angels, which this would be a great help with that, would it not?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. When we go back into the cosmic womb, where we realize that we're all one, we're all one. We're all energy. We are all energetic beings. So therefore, we see the angels. We see God, the creator. We see it all. And we see it as an energy of love. We don't see it with any of the stuff that we have here in this earth realm, like separation and judging and criticism. So we're able to just stay in that now moment when we do that. And the more we can do that vision of going back into the cosmic womb and connecting with the oneness, the more we're going to realize, we don't have to control anything. We don't have to wait to be told to raise our right arm. We just automatically raise whatever it is that we feel that we're supposed to, not what somebody else says we're supposed to do.
And Nancy Smith says, thank you. You're welcome.
You're so welcome.
I'm so glad you joined us here today and came on the show. So everyone, does anyone have any questions out there for Teri or myself? But she's the queen of transformation. That's your new title for me.
I'm not. I feel like I have to get a crown to wear.
I know. Well, and I think Mara had said at one point she was going to get a bunch of crowns. So we really kind of gratitude, we did transformation. We're just going to have it. It's going to be a really tall one that's, you can kind of go up and put all the different queen ofs on there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, in that meditation that we just all did together, when you hear the words, I am you and you are me, what does that say? What does that feel like when you hear those words? That's what I want everybody to connect with.
Yeah. One of the things I was listening to earlier today talked about a lot of the stuff that you're saying here also, but also the fact that we aren't separate. Our bodies we have individual bodies, but we're all part of that same divine soul. We're all divine soul. And so as I grow and you grow, we grow for others. There was a time, Teri, I know we both started on our spiritual path around the same time. For me, it was 33 years ago, and I think it was almost exactly the same for you.
Yes,
amazing. Isn't that a coincidence? Yeah. But back then, there weren't metaphysical bookstores except in the major, like New York City, Chicago, that type of thing, or in college towns. There wasn't the internet back then, and things weren't as light. The planet was much darker back then. And people go, well, wait, but it's, there's so much violence and everything else. But there is more light, because for every time we transform, every time we heal a wounded or damaged or pattern aspect of ourselves, we're adding more light to the planet. We're bringing more light in. We've transformed some of that darkness, because until we hit 5D, we're still in kind of a dark light, positive, negative type of a universe. And so consequently, as each and every one of us transform, we're doing it for each other. It's not just for ourselves that we're doing this. We're doing it for humanity, for the planet, and for Mother Earth, because Mother Earth is transforming right along with us.
This is so true. And that's why I said, our thoughts are creating. So whatever I'm thinking, it does affect you, Jeryl Anne. Yes. It affects all of us, because I'm creating with my thoughts. And yeah, it's so true what you said. There's always going to be polarity. There's always going to be black and white.
Until we get into 5D.
But until we can really transmute our emotional state as we're going through the polarities, as we're going through the challenging times, then, we're not going to be able to rise above. And that's what it's all about with ascending, is rising above all of that negativity as we see it as a negative. We see the physical symptoms that come along with growing. But just think, when we were in the womb, there were physical symptoms as well, because we were growing. For all that time in the womb, our body was really developing and moving and changing and stretching out. But, we didn't say, oh, I need an aspirin for that. We knew nothing about aspirin. We just knew that it was all okay. It was all okay. Whatever we were going through, it's the way it was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So if we can keep that in our minds as we're going through these challenges, it's the way it's supposed to be. And I can fight it. I can really say, I don't want this in my life. I choose not to. Or we can say, okay, I'm going to go with the flow. I am going to surf those waves. I'm going to make an informed and conscious choice to be the happiest I can be, the most joyful I can be, even in those trying moments. Yeah, I might not feel like laughing because my head hurts really bad, but at least I can make the choice of wanting to feel better, wanting to look at humor, wanting to look at beauty, instead of just shutting myself off in a cave and saying, this is just too much. I can't handle this today.
Right.
I think so. Making a choice. We have free will. We can choose how we want to deal with these situations.
And I think just being conscious of the fact that we are ascending from a 3D to 4D reality. And I don't know about you, but for me, until I was aware of what ascension was, until I was aware that there was a light at the end of the tunnel, I mean, honestly, there just didn't seem to be any payoff for the healing to speak of. It's like, I almost, it's come to a place where when I'm going through those places that are needing transformation and are being transformed, there is a part of me almost in the back of my mind that is like, even though this part of me is feeling really crummy, there's a part of me that is like, but this is so cool, because on the other side of this pain, emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, on the other side of this is 5D. It's another place. It's, for the first time in humanity's history, at least in this cycle of humanity, whether it's tens of thousands of years or hundreds of thousands of years, we are actually seeing 5D, the potential of shifting from 3D to 5D. That's never happened.
Right.
Before. And so now we're actually, able to go, okay, this is all really worth it. There's a whole different carrot at the end of the stick that we've never had before. And there's a joy almost in the pain. I know that might sound weird, but there's an excitement in, once you kind of get through the peak of the emotion, there's an excitement in it of what's on the other side.
Yes, that's true. And I'm laughing because Gizmo just raised up and said, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Gizmo. I'll be there to thank you in person soon.
You can go back to sleep now.
Thank you for letting me listen.
Thank you for being here, Nancy. And we're so grateful for you. And that's a huge part of the transformation. And that's what you were just saying, being grateful for the journey, being grateful that we're here, we're taking a breath. That means we're still going. We're still putting one foot in front of the other. So yes, gratitude is huge as far as your transformation process. And transforming into a 5D reality. Take that gratitude, because that's going to be what pivots you forward. It's going to be what lifts you up. It's when you can raise your vibration, and gratitude is the fastest way to raise that vibration. When you can think of and hold in your heart of what you're grateful for, then you've reached that place of getting outside of yourself, getting outside of maybe those ascension symptoms that are very difficult during your day, and saying, what am I grateful for in my path today? And finding one thing, just looking at one thing to be grateful for. And many days, Jeryl Anne, you're my one thing.
Thank
Many,
you.
many days as I'm going through my list of, okay, what am I grateful for today? Let me rev up my vibration here, and I see your beautiful smiling face, and I get a text from you that says, good morning, and just sharing some love from your heart. So I encourage all of you, find that one thing a day that you're grateful for. And then you'll find that that's going to expand to where you have many things to choose from that you can be grateful for.
Well, I am equally grateful for you. We've had quite a journey since last October, or August, September, October, when
Right.
came through, when you and Linda Lemieux so trustingly came down my darkened road for a half a mile in the rain at midnight going, do you know this person? Never met her before. Oh, boy. And the rest is history. So I'm really
Right.
glad that you two had the courage to take that leap of faith, because it has certainly changed my life. And for you, I am eternally grateful for all you have shown me and given me. And I also wanted to say one more time, Karen Palmer, Karen was also very instrumental at that time as well in my life, because she was doing abundant workshops on Facebook Live and so much. She really is one of those people that gives everything she's got, her whole heart, full, into her kindness movement and her gratitude movement. And she has so many movements. I can't keep up with all her movements because
I know.
she makes the Energizer Bunny look lazy. That's all I can say.
Yes,
The Energizer
absolutely.
Bunny look lazy. So she's just a remarkable person. And I've got her name up on the screen for angelspeakers.com. And please go check Karen out. If you don't know Karen, please go check her out as well. She's an amazing woman, and she's doing so many great things. It would take it would take another hour just to tell you what all she's doing. So please check her out. And Teri, I want to thank you so much for coming on again today. I love listening to you. I could listen to you forever and ever and ever.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And I just want to share with people too that I do have a YouTube channel, and you can go on YouTube and find it under Angel Speakers. And I'll be doing some new meditations. And I think the one that I did with you all today, I'm going to go ahead and record that onto a YouTube so that more people can benefit from
Awesome.
finding the connection with oneness. That's what it's all about. And tomorrow, tune in at 5 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to be really delving into what it means to connect with that oneness in all of us.
Awesome. And I've just put up there on the screen, YouTube Angel Speakers.
Speakers,
Okay.
yes.
And
Yeah, I
then
have several guided meditations already on there. And I've been trying to remember to put all of the transformation talks up there as well. So if you missed some of them, you can go catch up from the very beginning and see what we've covered. Because as we mentioned earlier in this broadcast, there have been many topics that we've gone through each day, and there'll be many more. So
that's Transformation Talk with Teri, 5 p.m. Eastern time on weekdays, Mondays or Friday. You don't want to miss it. So again, thank you so much. And I want to plug next week's show. My guest next week is someone that you know, Teri, as well. I'm having on next week Jane Mountrose. She
Oh,
is the
good.
co-founder and co-director of Awakenings Institute. And
Mhm.
she is going to come on and talk about her new book that she and her husband Philip wrote called The Ultimate Paradigm Shift, and a guidebook for creating the life you were born to live. You please, you don't want to miss it. It is, well, first of all, Jane is just one of the most beautiful souls I've ever met in my life. She's a remarkable teacher. She's just a lovely, lovely woman, and a great, great writer. She's a beautiful writer. And so I'm going to come on and talk about the ultimate paradigm shift and how you can apply that to your life. So please join me next Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for Jane. I would love to have you here. And again, I love you, Teri, so much.
Oh, I
Thank
love
you.
you.
And I love our audience. I'm telling you what, I am just absolutely um, head over heels over everybody that comes and watches the show on Sundays. And I thank you for taking time out of your day to join us and support us. And hopefully, we're bringing you a lot of good information here on Rising Up with Jeryl Anne. If you'd like to check me out, I have a website, jerylanne.com, just my name.com. And please go out, have a beautiful day, have a beautiful week. Spread your light, spread your love, be kind to everyone, and be grateful for another day. Have a blessed and beautiful week, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you here next Sunday at 5. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody. I love you.